A brief history of the temples. The Abu Simbel complex is made up of two temples: the Great Temple, dedicated to the gods Ra-Horakhti, Ptah, Amun, and the deified Ramses II, and the Small Temple, dedicated to the goddess Hathor and Ramses II's most beloved queen, Nefertari. Both temples were constructed during the 19th dynasty reign of Ramses II, either in 1264 BC or 1244 BC, depending on which scholarly interpretation you subscribe to. Either way, it is agreed that the temples took approximately 20 years to finish and were intended, at least in part, to commemorate Ramses II's victory over the Hittites at the Battle of Kadesh in 1274 BC. In time, the temples fell into disuse and were covered with desert sand until only the tops of the colossal statues that guard the entrances remained visible. They lay forgotten by the wider world until 1813, when Swiss geographer Jean-Louis Burckhardt stumbled upon them during his travels through southern Egypt. Burckhardt is most famous as the first European to discover the ruins of Petra in Jordan. He discussed his findings with fellow explorer Giovanni Belzoni, who traveled to the site but was unsuccessful in finding a way into the temples. It was Burckhardt who eventually excavated the temple's entrances when he returned himself 4 years later. In 1954, plans were announced for the construction of the Aswan High Dam and the creation of Lake Nasser. When it became clear that the lake's waters would submerge several famous ancient monuments, including Abu Simbel and the Philae Temple complex, UNESCO launched a campaign to save them. Donations flooded in from all over the world, and from 1964 to 1968, an international team of archaeologists and engineers cut the entire temple complex into movable blocks. These were then reassembled with painstaking precision on an artificial hill that put the temple safely above the rising floodwaters. The effort cost over $40 million, $300 million today.